Mandy Lile, Potency number 710, CEO and founder, Potency710.com, the CBD skincare company with the most fabulous, beautiful, happy members on the planet. You can add more to that, of course. Mandy, it's such a pleasure to speak with you once again. I can't believe it's already been, when I was scheduling on your podcast, how it's already been almost 8 months. It's incredible how time's flying. Here we are at the 4th of May. Such a pleasure to speak with you. You just got a new place. You just mentioned you also just got highandhappy.com. That's fantastic. You're grinning from ear to ear. Your Instagram's on fire as always. How are things?
Actually, thanks for asking, because I'm so busy sometimes I forget to ask myself that.
Right.
So I'm actually doing really good, and I have got so much cool stuff to tell you. Like, first of all, just trying to absorb everything that's happened in 8 months. Like, I can't even absorb it all, and it's all happening so fast, even though I'm trying to grow as slow and possible as I can, so I can enjoy these moments, because these are the moments that they say that you'll miss. So to me, growing a brand is kind of like having a new baby. And when you have the new baby, you want to be the one to feed it. You want to be the one that's doing everything for it when you first have that baby. And then by about 5 years old, you're like, okay, I'm over this. This kid needs to go to school, you know? And so that's kind of like when you're growing a skincare brand. You finally, you're about I'm going on 4 years. I'm saying about the 5th year, I'm probably going to be like, okay, what's next? What are we going to do? I hope I stay passionate as I am now. But it is kind of like growing a baby. So I've just been real busy growing my baby, I guess, for the last 4 years. And I'm about to launch my 8th product.
Please share. Yeah, really quick to interject there with respect to, that was such a good analogy. That's really great. I'm not personally a parent, yet that's a great, it seems like a really great analogy. And it's also in taking that analogy and then applying it to watching what you've done since we've been working together for quite some time now, and what you've really started to do over more so at an elevated, not to sound cliche, but at an accelerated pace over the past, say, 8 months to 12 months, i.e., when you look at your photo shoots, when you look at your social media, which you're very great at and active with, and and I'll let you jump back into it, but the question is, when you reflect on that, when you reflect on when you first started to then over the past, say, 8 to 12 months, and also having some built-in inspiration that all of us encountered with respect to prior to that 8 to 12 months, we had a pandemic happen, etc. So what has that been for you to reflect back on watching yourself in the third person, how you have taken this, as you put it, child, and nurtured it and grown it? And are you able to pinpoint moments that were tipping points for you, where you can say, leading up to that moment, I wouldn't have necessarily done that photo shoot, or I wouldn't have necessarily gone about it that way, but I would think it's built in confidence, success, etc.
So far, I've loved everything I've done. And honestly, I feel like they say life is but a dream. And to me, sometimes it doesn't seem real, because I've accomplished so much in such a short period of time.
Right.
And I knew when I started this that I was going to be at a lightning speed, because I'm coming into this with 20 years plus of experience as an esthetician. Right. So I already knew ingredients. And so the only ingredient I had never been able to really work with was cannabis, because we wasn't allowed to until 2018. And so I was launching right before that Farm Bill passed. I'd already had the gold serum kind of starting up, getting it going, because I was ahead of the game in the cannabis side of things too. So in a way, I'm ahead of the game, if I can say so. So I feel like I can kind of not slow down, because you don't ever want to slow down, but just kind of take it all in, I guess. Right. And I guess what's the most fascinating is to have realized how much I'm inspiring people, that I did not realize that I was inspiring them from maybe even just from my photo shoots. I've watched other brands kind of try to do the same take, and I'm like, I don't get mad. I think it's great because
Absolutely.
I am creating all of this. I'm not looking at what other brands are doing. And when my photographer comes to me, the one thing she says to me is, I love that you're not showing me pictures of what everybody else has done, and that you're coming to me with, this is what I want to do. This is how we're going to do this set and scene and how it's going to work. And you don't want to look like the other brands. And that's what I'm trying to differentiate myself, because I'm not like the other brands, because we are working with an ingredient that Olive Olay and Lancome and Estee Lauder and none of them have ever been able to work with just yet themselves. So we are the indie brands bringing this ingredient to the beauty industry. And I think through the beauty products, I'm helping to clear a little bit of stigma, because a lot of my clients and members are from the Midwest. That's a non-cannabis state. So Tennessee and Kentucky are just now starting to light a joint, just barely, you know. So they're still looking for a lighter over there. So I think me being from the Midwest and being able to introduce my skincare line to these women, and what's the difference between skincare and a joint or an edible. The difference is when you put something on your skin, you're almost going to immediately see how it helps your skin. When you smoke a joint, you may not know for a while, or when you start taking your CBD tincture, you may not know for a while if how your body's doing with that, how much you need, what's the dose. You're learning this along with all of us. What's your dose? We don't know what your dose is. My dose may be one puff and put it up, So with skincare, I feel like I have an advantage of showing people the beauty in this plant through beauty. And being able to use this ingredient has really just ignited this whole thing, because I always believed in plant oils. I worked with Yonka Paris for almost 20 years. I sewed Yonka at my skincare clinic in Kentucky. So I started with plant oils, and I love plant-based products. I never had anyone come to me and say, I can't use this, I'm allergic to this, or anything, even with their brand moving forward. There's a lot of brands that don't like essential oils or like plant oils, and that's okay. But we just know which ones to work with and which ones to stay clear of, because there are some that are more sensitive to the skin, like a lemon or a stronger terpene, So we're kind of staying on the safer side of which oils to play with over here. So far to date, I know this is a mouthful, but in 4 years, I've not had a request for a return still. And I know we had this conversation last time I talked, but since I've talked to you last, nobody's ever wrote me and said, I'd like to return this product.
That's amazing.
So that's amazing.
That's unheard of, right? I mean, in your industry.
It's a little absurd. Yeah. My assistant told me, I call her my chaos coordinator, Ashley. She told me, she said, great. I've never worked with anybody who had members that was this good. This works this well. Like she said, everybody just loves you, and you can feel that through your social media of the amount of support that you have from your hometown. And that's kind of where the story's leading, is for my new product. I was in Kentucky in December when the tornado hit, and it was nasty. And I was in my mom's basement thinking, God, don't let me die here. I want to be in Beverly Hills, not in the middle of a basement in the middle of Kentucky with a bunch of fishing equipment around me. So there I lay in my mom's basement, and that tornado headed our way. Like, the TV's already went out. We don't know where it's at this point. But for the most part, it got all the way to her woods, and it's like it just stopped and took a quick left turn and went all the way down my grandmother's road, which my grandmother passed away a couple years ago, but my aunt still lived in the farmhouse. And all my friends and family still live in that little small town. I mean, when you're from a small town, you usually stay there. Most people do, and those homes have been passed down for 50 and 60 years. Right. Well, I've been trying to decide what I want my next applicator for my product to look like, because it's coming in a beautiful brown apothecary jar. And I wanted it to look almost like a magical sorcerer's stick, like it's magical, almost wooden, like Harry Potter, because this lotion to me is going to be very magical. Of the ingredients that I've put in there this time are off the chart. And another thing is the gold serum has been one of my top selling products. And we've actually decided to build a gold serum suite of products. And so the gold serum formula is actually in the new lotion, but with a few new added oils that I'm working with that I'm absolutely in love with and can't get enough of myself. So I was deciding on the applicator, and I started to try different spoons. I had ordered a fancy little gold spoon, and then I had ordered another just plastic applicator, and I was trying all these things, and nothing felt good in my hand. And then I thought, wow, I wish I could do something back home. All that wood's laying around. Why don't I do a wooden spoon? And I'm going to find me a spoon maker. And I reached out to my grandmother's neighbor, and I figured anything from her house blew that direction. Could you go out and walk the fields with me? She said yes. So she went out and walked the fields with me in Kentucky. Literally, I'm on FaceTime, and I'm like, I bet you never thought in a million years I'd be calling you from Hollywood to go out and find me some wood in the field. And she said, no. She said, it's okay, because she goes, I have a thing for rocks. She said, but so I don't think this is weird at all. I said, okay, perfect. So she got the wood, and I had located the very first spoon maker that I found in Mississippi. I Googled spoon maker, and I ended up finding this amazing man. Of course, now he's going to be my best friend forever, because he just has got so much soul in him, and he's been doing this for so long. And we shipped him that wood, and he came back with the most cutest little wooden applicators with Higher Good on the front, which is the name of my new moisturizer, and Kentucky stamped on the back of the ones that came from the tornado. So we took that ugly situation in Kentucky and again turned it into something beautiful, which is what I've been doing all my life, with my history and my father, and spending so much time in prison with cannabis, and having to not let that define me and flip it and reverse it,
Right.
So now we have these spoons, and they just feel so right.
It's so beautiful. And thank you again for sharing the link to that initial press that you got. And when I read that, and as I replied to your text, it was just genius, just pure genius. So compliments to you for being able to look at a situation such as that and immediately apply it to to what you were doing in such a spectacular, and to you probably simple yet very spectacular and great way. And they're perfect, they're beautiful. How many were you able to make, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm going to go up to 200, because now this man hand makes these in his little wood shop, and he takes care of his wife. He takes care of his wife. For the most time, he's her caretaker. So he does these in his little wood shop, which I got a little tour of it on FaceTime, and it's just cute as you can imagine. And he actually has been making trees or doing things for about 30 years, turning the cheese boards, this big kitchen spoons. He does some beautiful, beautiful work. And I don't want to say the celebrity's name, but a few days after I called him, a certain celebrity, very well known, is turning 85. He's from Mississippi. And it's funny, he said how funny the synergies worked, because here was a little girl with a Kentucky accent calling him from Hollywood, looking for some wooden spoons. And then he said, then a few days later, one of the biggest celebrities in Hollywood call, and they want him to make some beautiful cheese boards for his 85th birthday, because he wants to gift everybody something from his birthplace. So he was looking for people who were making stuff in Mississippi.
I'm going to have to look up 85-year-old actors that are having a birthday soon from Kentucky.
From Mississippi, yeah.
I could put two and two together every now and then.
He has a very nice voice, and you hear him commentating quite a few things on TV.
Okay, got it. Okay, I think I know.
But his birthday's in July, so I don't want to say his name yet, just in case I'm running a surprise, because it's people's call. I don't want to say, well, no, I messed up the whole surprise, and they're mad at me. But it's been really exciting, and just getting this product, not last product, but the beginning of many more to keep coming out. But my next one after this, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen is, once people try this moisturizer, and first of all, it has tonka bean in there, which is an aphrodisiac, and it makes you want more, and you will want more. You'll wake up wanting to put it on your body just somewhere, just so you smell it. But I'm very proud of it. But what I think is going to happen is, everybody's going to say, and this is always happens, because in my spa it used to happen, people would walk in my skincare clinic and say, I just want my house to smell like this. And so I would soak the towels and all the oils, and it would just smell amazing, And so I'm like, okay, then I know what my next product is. I need to take the fragrance, the essential oil that's made with this lotion and turn it into a home fragrance too, because people are going to want their whole house to smell like this.
Right.
So that's probably going to be what rolls out after the lotion, but I've got a whole roll up of products coming out, a whole lineup, and it's just getting more and more exciting. So I'm still as passionate as I was 4 years ago.
You, and each and every time that we've traded emails or traded a text, and also now for the third time been able to speak and take this focused time, you sound more passionate each and every time. You do, and you sound more excited each and every time. It emanates. And now, and thank you for having us do video, because to actually see it in your face is fantastic, and it's contagious. It's contagious. Yeah. And I would think that, circling back to, and definitely worth noting again, to have a skincare company in general, then you, of course, having the CBD skincare company with the most beautiful, fabulous, and spoiled members. I love that. I use it in every post that we do for you. And then you came up with it. And so to have the CBD skincare company with the most fabulous, gorgeous, spoiled members, and to not have, in 4 years, in over 1,200 days, not one single return for any reason whatsoever, that is absolutely amazing. And I think, in my opinion, it would be something that you might want to include in your social media consistently with posts. And it's something that we should definitely include in your upcoming, or when you have Ashley do your next ad, that... Yeah. If me personally, or if Diane, to see an ad for skincare and for a claim to be made such as that would catch my attention. That would. Yes, CBD would catch my attention. Yes, each and everything that you've said would catch my attention, along with the fact that I know you would even take that out of it. But that is a magnificent claim. I would be surprised if there's one other skincare company on the planet that could make that claim.
I love it. I put a post up the other day just asking how we were doing, because, as I get busier, I'm going to start passing hats. And so I love to package. I still package a lot of the things myself. When I'm back there, I'll take over a few orders. I'm like, oh, who ordered? Where's all the orders coming from? And it used to be Kentucky, LA. And then now it's like Kentucky, Canada, Tennessee, Florida, New Jersey, LA, Oklahoma. I'm like, oh yeah, here they come, all the different states all around. So that part's getting super exciting. But gosh, I don't know. It's super. I feel like I'm on a magic carpet ride.
Again, it's just emanating from you. You sound and look like you're on a magic carpet ride. And so
it may be on my products.
I knew I was going to get. I knew I was going to. We were going to have such. So let's do this, since I think this is a great segue into, especially after everything that you've just discussed, is let's say that someone is listening to your voice for the first time, or they've just discovered your Instagram. They've just heard that Potency number 710 has the most beautiful and spoiled members on the planet, is the CBD skincare company with that, yet they don't know exactly what it is. What does that mean, and why Potency number 710? And I realized when I was, preparing and getting excited to speak with you, we've never actually discussed that during a podcast. We discuss each and every, what we have just done, but we've never really got into it that way. So I think this is such a perfect opportunity and perfect moment in time to do that. So someone has just discovered you. Go.
I first would tell that person that I almost feel like this is an ingredient, and maybe this is something absurd, but I'm watching a lot of transformations. I feel like this is an ingredient that we've been suppressed from for a very long time.
Cannabis.
I believe that this ingredient, if you look back to biblical times, it's mentioned all throughout the Bible, along with several other essential oils like myrrh and frankincense and many of the other essential oils out there. I love anything that comes from nature. I keep hearing it's science, and I'm like, no, I want nature. I want nature. Our body wants that nature. But what I'm finding is happening is we actually have something called an endocannabinoid system that goes down the middle of the body. And that system is like your respiratory system, your digestive system, your skeletal system. It's a real system. And they really didn't discover this system until the 90s. And what they found is that there is something called a CB1 and a CB2 receptor that is connected to this endocannabinoid system. And the CB2 receptors respond to anything related to the skin. So what I'm watching happen is our skin is recognizing this ingredient. So it's an ingredient to me, unless you're highly allergic, and I found very few people allergic, but there are people allergic to cannabis. But there's such a small amount of THC in mine because it has to be the legal amount. It has to be 0.03 and under when I'm doing any kind of shipping across the U.S.
Right.
Because CBD is legal in 50 states. So it cannot have that high THC, which that's another interview, because I'd like to do a product and get a little bit higher with that THC and sell it through dispensaries later once more women start showing up in the dispensaries, because there was a moment where it wasn't so many women coming to the dispensary, and now we're seeing a big, huge increase in women coming in. So once women start to come in, they're going to start looking for what else does this do? And when they come into our cannabis store, if I'm there promoting, say I'll go up on the weekend sometimes and just make sure everybody's greeting people right, and I got samples up there just so that people on the weekend can try it, and I'm asking them, I'm telling them, if you love cannabis and you love what that does for your body, you're going to love what it does for your skin. And what we're watching happen is it's getting to the root of the problem. And we all know that root of many problems, even dietary or skin, is inflammation. So we cannot make claims. I cannot tell you that it's going to do X, Y, Z right now on this podcast. What I can tell you is that I've documented over 150 photos, and I let those pictures do the talking, because we are under a microscope. We are a new ingredient to the world. They're microscoping everything we do, audited all the time at the THC store. They're counting every seed. So we're under a microscope, so we can't make claims, but I can tell you I have a very nice selection of photos, and I've been very impressed. Out of all of the plant oils that I worked with in the 25 years I've been an esthetician, I've never saw a product work this fast to tone someone down in a way that their skin may have been in trouble or inflamed or red or sunburned. I've watched someone come in and miss the whole body down, tell me that they used it as soon as they came in. I've had people come in and tell me they just got off the ski slopes. All their friends were burnt except them. And so I'm getting reports back of people who were using it on a brown recluse spider bite. And the doctor told them, whatever you're using, keep using it. And then I have people that are using it. I had a lady that said she had hives the other day from something she ate, she guesses, and she put it on and it calmed her down right away. Amazing. The redness on the skin. So I'm watching things happen that's going beyond beauty. While it's about beauty and I'm a beauty brand, it's that specific ingredient in there, the cannabinoids, that are actually helping drive the rest of these plant oils. And I'm finding that it loves working with green tea, because a large percentage of my ingredients is used with green tea. I love green tea. It's a very good anti-aging ingredient. I could drink that stuff all day long too. unsweetened iced green tea. And I love a hot green tea too. But using it with other plant oils, it's like it's been the missing piece to the car. So say we've had all these plant oils driving us all these years, and now we got this big old motor in there now, and it's really making things happen. And when you use different cannabinoids together, it causes something called an entourage effect. So it does this amazing, beautiful thing to the body. I can't explain it, except I always feel this good, and I feel like I always look this good because I'm using all these plants, and my body likes it. I'm watching sun damage reverse. I'm watching people who have a lot of hyperpigmentation, the brown spots, age spots, whatever you want to call them, and I'm watching it help even those out. And I also think that a lot of people don't understand how much omega comes from hemp. You have omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, and a lot of people lack that. A lot of people in the Midwest aren't eating fresh salmon every day, and we are what we eat. What you eat is very important. That does shine within your skin shows what you eat. You're going to know right away, is this person got a good diet? What's going on, Are there sensitivities to what they're eating? Is that causing the breakouts? What's going on? I always start with food when someone comes to me for their skin. I'm not a nutritionist, but I first ask them, are you drinking a lot of water?
Right.
Can you toss some lemon in that water? Can you ditch the refined sugars in the sodas? Can you kind of take a break from fast food? These are the things that I kind of start with just to kind of get them going. And then if they're having problems with their body, then I'm like, well, can you switch to a plant-based detergent? Because there are so many detergents and so many people with eczema and psoriasis that aren't thinking and linking this to their laundry detergent. Mm-hmm. Because we wash those clothes. Okay, big deal. You wash them and dry them. Your detergent's not on there? Oh, yes, it is. If you go and sweat and that water and you sweat and that skin and that cloth gets wet on your clothes, you're activating that chemical component now is touching your skin.
Right.
So you do have to watch everything that you do. And some people are like, oh my gosh, how do you worry so much about everything? I'm like, you have to start small. You can't just change everything right away. I'm saying the products that you use every single day are the ones that you should be the most aware of. What toothpaste are you using? What deodorant are you putting on? These are things you do every day, and ingredients matter. And we saw that with a lot of lawsuits on television with a lot of big founders and a lot of big brands who are now having recalls on a ton of things because they've caused cancer. Mm-hmm. So you just have to be extremely careful when formulating. And I'm sticking to nature as much as I can. And I know that acids are important, glycolic, lactic, tartaric. I know all the natural acids are important, but I first just am trying to stick to as close to nature as I can.
Well, not only sticking to nature, yet also you are, in the most genius way, proactive way, utilizing this is me making this claim, but utilizing one of, if not the most beneficial, powerful ingredient on the planet, again, cannabis. And it is. Again, in my opinion, it will be on a global scale. It will change the dynamics of society once we actually fully explore what cannabis can do for us. And when they begin looking at what pioneers such as you, Mandy Lile, are doing with skincare. And then just, as you know, I know I'm saying things that you know, but I'm saying it so it can be said and recorded. It's just, and I'm sure that's another reason why you are circling back to just constantly so excited and seeing all these, it's like the universe has channeled you to see these opportunities it's such an exciting time because it hasn't been in any way the opportunities, the benefits of CBD and cannabis have not been explored and exploited.
If I can give somebody, if there's a teenager that comes to me and they majority of the time they're taken to a dermatologist, they're put on something as strong as Accutane.
Right.
You can look at the side effects of Accutane, and it is no joke. Constant blood work has to be done. You have to be evaluated.
Yeah, no, it's
very harsh.
Right.
I don't want to do that to my teenager, or even I have an 8-year-old. I don't even give him specific medicines because they put red dye 40 in the children's fever medication. And first of all, fever's good anyway. We need a little fever. That's what our body's doing. It's fighting anyway. Why do I want a fever reducing? But if he has a pain from a growing pain or a tooth coming in, I usually will just, try to not give him anything. Try to just soothe him with a warm bath. I'm not someone who takes a lot of medicine over the counter. You will come to my cabinet and see tons of medicines in there, but we always try to do things naturally first. Like I'm reaching for the honey. If there's a sore throat in our house, we're going for the honey and we're gargling salt water. Right. That was what we do, our steps first of what our body tells us. And I love it because my son wanted raspberries the other day when he didn't feel good. I'm like, I'm so glad that you know that food is medicine, because all of the things that I've been teaching him, it's coming to him now. And now he picks up a back of a product and he looks at the ingredient and he's like, oh, it has a high fructose corn syrup.
So Mandy, to summarize, with respect to this exciting time that you're in, with this exciting time that you have created, that wasn't dished to you, that you have created for everyone that has been fortunate enough to discover you, Mandy Lile, and Potency number 710, potency710.com, but has been fortunate to discover you thus far, and yet the millions of people that are on the verge as you enter this tipping point, close to discovering you.
I just want you to get the yacht ready because I'm going to need a damn vacation.
I was you that you make the greatest
I mean,
comments on the yacht posts that we do. They're fantastic. So thank you for those.
I'm like, pick me up already.
Yes, you write that along with other things. But now is
Oh,
you. Go ahead.
I'm actually reflecting now. Actually, I'm in the middle of writing a book, and I have a ghostwriter I meet with every week, and it's going to be real exciting. And I'm playing around with some different titles right now. I don't want to say them yet, but I am super excited. It's going to be a cool story, and I just want people to know that I'm here on a mission. I think kindness is a superpower. If I don't align with someone, I don't want to work with them if I don't feel like it feels right. I'm real picky who I let into my work environment because it is such a happy place. And I require everybody that works for me to smoke weed.
Congrats again. Segue into congrats again on highandhappy.com. That's
yeah, lifestyles of the high and happy.
Lifestyles of the high and happy. I can't believe you got that domain. That talk about just incredible. That's one of those domains you get and you think.
I remember watching Robin Leach growing up, and I think about when we're young how we manifest. When we're young, you don't realize what you're really manifesting when you're young. You have no idea at how powerful your thoughts are when you're that 7, 8, 9-year-old.
Right.
And I'm watching my son do it. So now I'm reflecting back to when I used to play in the room for hours with Barbie, and I would leave the crazy life of my dad and all the people coming in to buy drugs at my dad's house. I didn't want to be in that world. I stayed in my room all the time and played Barbies, and I created my own world. And my cousin told me the other day, she said, your Barbie back then lived the same life that you're living now. And I said, so that was me manifesting at an early age then.
Right.
And my Barbie had names like Lisa Starr or Mercedes, and just names that were just crazy, for a little 8-year-old girl. And I remember laying in the floor when I was little and putting my feet up to the vent and putting a blanket over my feet, and we would pretend we were in Florida. We had never been to Florida. We were just dreaming of going to these places. So I had and that's one of my favorite places, the South Beach, So I've been manifesting this for a long, long time. And I remember going with my mom to the unemployment center when she was, a single mom. And I remember creating a help center of my own in our living room where I was going to help everybody get a job. And my mom, I was going to help everybody. So I remember certain things. As bad as my memory is, I can't tell you what happened about 2 hours ago, but there are some things that are in there that make me have those aha moments of life is but a dream. And yesterday's gone. Tomorrow is certainly not promised. And this moment is the only moment we have right now. And so I try not to think and project my business 5 years from now. And my team hates that. They're like, we need to know what you're going to do next year and the next year. And I'm like, no, I'm not playing it like that. I'm just going with the way the water rose. I'm not going to, I'll have some ideal and vision. I have it there. But in a manifestation, of course, that's working wonders. But to set and plan it all out, I just feel like it's a waste of my precious time in this moment because that moment may not come. So I'm just having a good time in this moment.
Very well said, Mandy. You're so well spoken. I don't know if I've ever directly said that to you, but you're so well spoken. You're such a pleasure to speak to. And I absolutely am so humble and grateful and fortunate to have for you to be in my life and to be able to work with you. So thank you so much. Thank you for taking your precious time today. And
anytime.
Mandy Lile, founder and CEO, Potency, number 710, potency710.com. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I can't wait to speak with you again soon, Mandy.
I know it. See you later. I'll pick you up on my boat.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.